Hello and welcome to my craft room. It's Wednesday night. My name is Terry Phelps and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And tonight I'm going to share a fun technique to add to a Halloween card. This is an old technique, but I thought it was really cute because it will add, I think, a little something special to the card, give it a fun texture. So tonight, I'm only going to use a couple products. This is the, let me put my screen down here. Hopefully everything's working. I swear, I never know. So this is the Fright Night bundle, and this is an online exclusive. And so you get this stamp set, which is really cute. Make a really fun tag. And then you get these dies that go with that. So you've got 3 panels of spider webs. You have a hole punch to make tags. You have a little banner. You have another couple layered pieces for tags or whatnot. And you got a spider, and you've got the word boo and eek. So kind of fun. And then, of course, these coordinate with the dies. So I'm going to use that bundle. And I'm going to use this awesome ribbon. I just love this stuff. I think it's actually on the Last Chance products. It's just gold ribbon, it says. But it's really cool. I don't know if you can see it too well, but it's really fun. Looks like a web to me. And then I decided, because I have this Halloween paper, it's the Smoky Sweet 12 by 12, and so I brought that in to add to a little bit on the inside of the card. So the technique that I'm going to share tonight is an old one, and it's called, I think, the linen technique. And so what this is a piece of tissue paper. And so we're going to stamp on that. And you ideally want it to be tissue paper that hasn't been all messed up yet and wrinkled. But this is not totally free of wrinkles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tape it down and kind of spread it so that it's kind of taut. And then that way, hopefully, some of my... And then as I stamp on this also, I'm going to just kind of hold it tight. So I'm going to make a background, and one of the stamps that's in the set is this little background one. And it kind of looks like little spiders, like baby spiders, but it's not actually. I think it's just like little scratch marks. Well, they're actually crosses and stuff. So I'm going to use that to stamp on this tissue paper. And I just took a piece of paper. I probably, this is probably around 6 by 6. This is more than I actually need, but we'll just see how the stamping goes, and then I can take my pick of where I want to use what area. So I'm just going to make this as my background, and I'm kind of holding this paper a little tight so that I get a nice crisp image. Can't believe Halloween is almost here. Like usual, our months are just flying. And for this particular card, I'm not too worried about whether the image is totally clear or not. I mean, I'm trying to obviously stamp it so that it is, but it's not a big deal if it's not. I'm primarily just making a background. And I'm hoping everything works. As far as my sound goes, I have issues with that sometimes. So all right. Okay, so I think that's going to be probably enough. I'm going to have a little bit more, maybe, just so I have a little leeway. This actually technique would be really pretty with like large florals or anything like that, because what we do with this paper, and that's another reason, like this particular stamp, it's not really that important that it is stamped clearly. But if you were having like a definite like floral or, you know, another scene that you would like to have defined, then, you know, you just definitely want to keep your paper nice and flat. All right, so I think that is going to be pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to take this tissue paper and I'm going to wad it all up. And I hear trouble behind me. I swear. I just don't understand. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to scrunch this all up. And I want it nice and crinkly. Troubles here. Just a second. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, sorry. If I just hold him for a little bit, he usually calms down, right? Oh, you're so naughty all the time. All right, so I like that. I'm going to crinkle it up one more time. And I want to have a lot of texture. All right. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do, and there's lots of different ways you could take and apply your glue, but I tried this afternoon and it works, so hopefully it works tonight. So our card base, just to begin, is just a general 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And I'm using Blueberry Bliss. I'm not sure if that's right. No, I don't think it's blueberry. I can't remember. I'm sorry. And then you're going to have a panel that's 5 1/4 by 4. And then the panel that I'm using right now is 5 by 3 3/4. And so this piece is what I actually am going to use with our tissue paper. I think I'm actually going to go this way. It seems like that's a better option. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put glue all over this silicone pad. And the reason I'm going to do that is because glue will just come right off of your silicone pad, right? So I need to totally immerse this panel in glue. So I'm just going to spread it everywhere. All right. So I'm going to squish this together a little bit and see how that just kind of spreads that glue around. So it's All right, so I think my panel is going to fit on that. Maybe spread it just a little more to the edge. Leo is sitting on my lap, standing halfway on the chair and halfway on me. I don't really know how this is going to go. All right, so I think that is spreading it far enough. Now I'm going to take my panel and I'm going to, here, you get down. There you go. Ooh. So I'm going to take my panel and I'm just going to apply it right onto the glue. Okay. And I don't want to press super hard, but I do want to make sure that I'm getting this glue adhered to most of the front. Okay, so check that out, right? So I've got glue pretty well spread out. Now I'm going to take another piece of paper here and lay that down. Oh, I got a Leo hair in here. Figures, right? Ugh. When you have dogs, you have hair. Even though these guys don't actually shed. Actually, I'm leaving it in there. It's going to get hidden pretty well. This one's kind of dark, though. Oh, I think she's going to stay in there. That's all right. We will live with it. All right, so I'm going to put my paper down, and I'm going to take, and I'm going to put my crumpled up tissue paper. And so this has like a lot of texture to it now, right? And so to me, that's what I want. And I'm just going to press this on. And I want to make sure that I'm pressing, I mean, not really super hard. I do like having the ridges showing. You know, I like having that texture, but I do want to make sure it's adhered all the way around. Okay. So there we have a nice background that's got a lot of texture to it. This kind of reminded me of little spiders, like a million little baby spiders. So I'm going to take this and let this dry for a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and cut off my excess here. And then while this is drying, then we can kind of work on the rest of the card. Oops, I have a little extra hanging off. So if you've just joined, I've stamped on some tissue paper. I wadded it all up a couple of different times to get some good texture in there. Okay, so here we have our panel. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. And you'll notice too that the glue kind of looks a little bit yellowish, kind of like an ivory color, but it does kind of clear, it does dry kind of clear. And I don't actually mind that for this particular card. Okay, so we have our main pieces. We're going to let this dry. And then I'm going to do a couple things. I have to stamp my little label. And I have not showed you the card yet. I always do that at the end. Well, actually, you'll see it because we'll make it. All right. I love the artwork on this stamp set. I like how it's kind of broken. It's not like a solid images. There's a little, white space in there. I like that. So I'm just going to alrighty. And I'm just going to color this, not a whole lot. I think I'm just going to add, I'm going to add orange to the border here. And this is pumpkin pie. And if you like using markers like this, Stampin' Up! Is getting rid of their Stampin' Write markers like this that are in all the colors. So you might want to grab those if you do want those before they're gone. They found that the Stampin' Blends are what people want to use, and those are alcohol based. So just a little thought there if you are interested in getting that. And I'm going to make the little sash of my witch hat. I'm going to make that Blackberry Bliss. That's what this is called, not Blueberry Bliss. Okay, so I'm just going to color that. And I think I'm going to Wink Estella all of the critters here. I'll just give it a little bling. If you are watching this live or if you are watching this as a replay, go ahead and share or like or comment so that other people can see. It helps us creators get to be more seen. So that would be awesome. And we just have the little blackbird here. All right. So I don't know if you can see that very well, but we got the little bling bling going on. And then what else do I have to stamp? Okay. We're going to have to die cut that. And then for the inside of the card, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment that's just Happy Halloween. And I'm going to stamp it on some designer series paper because I'm going to make a little banner out of it. Actually, all right. And I think that's all the stamping we have. Super easy. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cut I'm going to cut out my banner and I'm going to cut out 2 of my labels, and I'm going to cut out some cobwebs and the word eek. So on the larger one, I'm going to cut this, and I'm just going to do that down here a lot quicker. So there's my banner there. And whoops. Is anyone doing anything exciting for Halloween? It's fun. I have grandkids, so hopefully I will be hanging out with them. Let's see here. But if not, my neighborhood, I get tons of kids. So here's my little banner that I made using the designer series paper. And then we're going to cut out our banner here that we colored. Let's see what else. All right, so there's our little banner. And I don't know if you can see, but I wink is stelled, so and colored the hat in here. And then I think we're going to make, I'm going to do a couple of spiders. Let's see, yeah, I think I'm going to do 2 spiders. The thing about Halloween, obviously, it's a very short-lived holiday, right? But the paper that I'm using that is Halloween themed, the thing that I love is that the second side of the designer series paper are very generic, so you can use them for a lot of things, right? So even if you don't use it, you know, for Halloween, you can still use this designer series paper, you know, pretty much throughout the year. So it's one thing to think about when you're buying paper. I love these little spiders. They're so cute. I had this gorgeous orb spider hanging out in my house for 3 weeks, and I was so sad when he left or whatever happened to him. I don't know. But he was just gorgeous. He was like oranges and reds, and he had a little black and white square, and he was just really pretty. So I had fun watching him. Poor guy, he'd make his web, and then a storm would come and it would rip it all apart, and he'd start all over again and make it again. It was kind of crazy. It's kind of fun to watch. Not the destroying part. So I'm going to make my webs. So I like that they give you 3 cobwebs, so I can cut them all at the same time. So that's a very nice feature. And I think, oh no, and I have the word eek I need to die cut as well. And then we are done with that. And let's see. I have another little scrap. I die cut my eek. And we can start putting together. Now, the thing that also, when I put the glue all over my silicone pad, so this is all remaining glue. So this is how I attached my tissue paper to my panel, right? This glue is still usable. And since I have these die cuts and stuff, I'm going to smack them on here as well. And that's going to pick up the glue, and it'll be a little tackier, but it's still going to work. So that is another reason why I kind of wanted to try this technique again. I just kind of made that up this afternoon, and it seemed to work really well. So it might be my new go-to when I have like a die that's really intricate and I don't want to use, the adhesive sheets behind the dies. It might be a good way for me to use gluing stuff on. All right, so we, I think, are done die cutting everything. So we got this cute little eek. I love it. And so get all this stuff out of our way. And I should have probably used the brush, but this is pretty fast going, just poking out these little pieces. So we have one of our little webs. I think Halloween, even as an adult, is still one of my favorite holidays, just because I love seeing kids be kids. And I think in today's world, it just seems like they're so stressed out and everything. And I don't even get mad when teenagers come to my doors, because you know what? They're kids and they need to have fun. And I'd rather see them trick-or-treating than out doing something that's, probably not the greatest thing for them to be doing, whatever that is. So I welcome them to come to my house. A couple of years ago, I had a kid that was probably, I don't know, I'm guessing 15, something like that. And he came walking across my yard on stilts. And he was probably, 10 feet up high, and it's like, oh my God, how are you doing that? You're walking on my grass. It's like on stilts, It's pretty talented. He kind of blew me away. I had to take a picture of him. It was pretty neat. All right, so we have our webs. And I am going to get rid of all this little junk. All right. Okay, so I think we have all our pieces. And I think that our panel is getting pretty well dried. It sure is. So I don't know if you can see that texture. This to me kind of reminded me of a bunch of little spiders, and I like the texture of this. It's kind of like a web kind of thing. Kind of, All right, so we got our pieces here. Get rid of my dies. Okay. So again, this is our card base. Well, I have to score this. I did not do that yet. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Okay. And need my bone folder here. And then I'm going to have my layering panel. Now I could do something like emboss this if I really wanted to kind of give it another dimension, but I kind of thought that might be too much, but you know, in a different day, I'd have a different mood and I would do that. All right. So I'm going to stand up because I can't see very well with all the camera stuff in the way. Okay. And now I'm going to take my panel here and I'm going to adhere that. And this might like curve a little bit because, you know, the glue is wet. So that's why I'm like putting the glue kind of all the way around. All right, so I'm just going to put this in. So super fun with the texture. All right, and then I'm going to start adding my cobwebs. And so this is where the silicone pad, of course, it still has the glue on it. So I'm going to take and I'm going to dip my web in here. And I'm not going to do it super hard, but I do want to have the glue attached to it, right? And it's not going to attach everywhere. Sure, now it's not doing it at all. Okay, there we go. And then what I was doing was just kind of moving it so that it would not stay in the holes, but it would cover different areas of the web. And then I would just totally just poke it in. Okay, so I'm just kind of moving this glue around, and I don't need a lot of it. I just need some to attach in different spots. All right, so I'm just going to attach this. Press that in. And it also kind of, actually, because these are webs, it does kind of look cool with having the glue sticking through. But probably is not good for the card as far as, you know, you can't have glue just everywhere, so. But it looks cool. Okay, so I'm just kind of moving this around. And of course, you do not have to do your glue this way. It just seemed like it kind of worked out today for me to do that. So I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to take another stab at it here. Oops. Nice and sticky. And need a little more down here. All right. And you can kind of reposition this too a little bit. So that's kind of nice. Well, that's what I was doing wrong. I want this out a little bit farther. All right. I think I'm going to move this over just a smidgen. Awesome. All right. And then I'm going to add my little spiders. And those I squished down pretty good. And I got one more here. So it's kind of cool how you can use the glue like this from your mat and see how it just covers nicely. I don't know if you can see that or not, but and I'm going to have him come down here a little bit. All right. So I'm going to get rid of my, well, I still can use that for my eek. Okay. And then I want to take my ribbon, and I just want, I don't know why, I just needed to use this ribbon. It's just so pretty. I love it. So I want to use it whenever I can. So I'm going to actually cut off a little bit of this because it's a little long. Okay. And I'm just going to lay this across the card. A little more smidgen off. All right. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that down the front. Easy peasy, right? Whoops. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this guy here. Is everyone having good weather? We have so far. I think the last 2 days have been a little rainy, but that's okay. It kind of made me stay in and get some stuff done. But we have another week or so of 60s, and then I think it's going to start going downhill after that. That's okay. It is Minnesota after all. All right, so then I'm just going to pop this up. And we're going to take oh no, I did it on the wrong side. Let's see. Will this work? It'll still work. All right. You did not see that. I'm going to put glue on the side. All right. Whoops. And then we're going to pop this on top. So today I got my first order from Stampin' Up! Since they changed their packaging. So when I'm done here, I'll show you what the packaging looks like now. It's totally different. Really it's going to be a really good space saver, you know, if you don't have a lot of room. It's going to take up way less space to store your stamps and stuff. So it's pretty awesome. Super fun. All right, so let's do the inside, and that is going to be pretty quick. I used the designer series paper. That's our Halloween theme paper. And so I didn't measure this correctly. Actually, it was a scrap, but I thought I'm going to use it regardless. So I'm going to stand up because I can see better. Oh, I knew I was going to run out. So because this is not actually the size that I want it to be, I'm just going to line it up like I normally would. Okay, and then I'm going to line this up as I normally would as well. Sneaky, right? Nobody will even know I didn't use the right size. I shouldn't say right size. It's whatever size we want to do. Let's see. I guess we'll do this. Perfect. And then we're just going to put our little banner up here. Whoops, kind of curling up there. And then I'm going to take and use again the glue that's left over on my silicone pad. I'm going to press this ink in here pretty good. Lift it out. And this ink is kind of a fragile die because the letters are not like all in a row, so they're kind of, what do you want to call it? They're spaced differently. Wow. I got a lot of glue on this. So it leaves it a little more fragile. And I really like how this looks. It actually looks like a web. Too bad it's glue because it actually looks awesome. So you might think this is just not worth this, Terry. So do your glue however you do it that works for you. I just thought I'm going to use this stuff up because I have it all over. All right, I'm going to just put this little eek. And so the glue came right off, just so that you think, oh my gosh, she's going to have glue on her. Take your pick tool. It just rolled right off the letters. So it does work to use it that way. But like I said, I just wanted to continue using the glue that I had all over here. And the thing that's great about this is because it does not stick to the silicone. I'm just going to wipe all this off and my silicone pad will be just fine. All right, so this is our cue card. And my light doesn't show it as well, but the ribbons glittering, the cat and the hats and the bird and the bats, those are all glittering. Super fun. I think I am going to trim this little guy. My little web here. He's just a smidgen off the card. There we go. So there it is, and it's using that fun technique of faux linen. So you can see it all has a little different textures. Now you can do this again, like I said, with like a big floral print or something like that in really big, vibrant colors. And then when you glue it onto your page, it will have this linen look when the glue dries and stuff. So it's pretty cool. But isn't that fun? It's a fun card, right? And it's a fun technique. So try it, play with it. These are basically the same card, but a lot of fun making this. Oh, and I wanted to show you, look at my cute little Halloween lanterns. Are they not the cutest? I love it. Dollar store, like a year ago, I think. But I just think they're so cute. So there you go. Look at that. Fun, fun, fun. So then I was going to also share with you the new look of the products when you get them now. So typically right now, Stampin' Up! Changed their what they send you. They used to have your stamp sets in this little plastic case, which was great, but they have switched this now. So if you got a bundle, this would be your bundle. This is the dies and the stamp set. Now they've switched everything to this. So this is also a bundle. This is my dies. And so they give you a picture of what the dies are, which is awesome because in the old way, you did not see what the dies look like. You had to put them on the outside to see. And sometimes if there's two sheets of dies, you have to actually pull them out to actually see them. So this is the new way. And so these are the dies and they have a picture on the front. And then they just put them on the outside so I can actually see the size of what they look like. And then this is the stamp set now. So instead of coming in the plastic case like it did, they come in these envelopes. And so it saves a lot of storage room and space. And then your stamps are inside. You could put them on the outside, but you don't need to do that because you have such nice, photos on the front. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Another thing I noticed when I got my order today, they used to have a clear plastic little bag that went over every die and all that. That's been eliminated, so there's not that plastic waste. This is how they come. So I really like the new way that they have changed their products. So I just wanted to share that real quick. And remember, there's a join special right now. If you would like to ever think about joining Stampin' Up, you don't have to do this as a business. You can just do it for the discount and having fun with a creative group of people, right? So you right now can buy for $99, you can get $189 worth of products, and you get free shipping and a free paper pumpkin. And all your business supplies. But like I said, you don't have to do that. And you can virtually be a demonstrator for the $99 until like April, because the first quarter you don't need to purchase if you don't want to. And yeah, so drop some stuff here. Also, there's the joining for $35 and you get $125 worth of products. So same thing, free shipping, free paper pumpkin kit. And that paper pumpkin kit's like a $25 value. So yeah, so very exciting. So that goes through to the end of October. So if you are interested in being part of the family and getting the discounts and having fun, creative people around you, just let me know. That's awesome. But so with that, I will let you go. I hope you liked these. Super fun. And I just think it would be fun to get this in the mail, right? So anyway, with that, I will close and I will see you again next Wednesday. If you have any Halloween cards that you make or whatever, or any treat bags or boxes or anything, go ahead and post it. I'd love to see them. All right, well, take care, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.